All right. Hello, 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 and welcome to our Finding Better podcast. My name is John Suzuki, and I am your host, and it is 2025. This is our first episode for 2025. We did 100 last year. We're going to do 100 this year. Isn't that amazing? And, first of all, thank you. Thank you for an amazing 2024. Started it in January 1st of last year and did over 100 episodes. Um, and we got over 1,800 subscribers to my YouTube channel, to the Finding Better podcast YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sharing. This is all about sharing. It's all about helping folks live a better life because when you help somebody live a better life, you really do lift the world. And it's all about love. It really is all about love. And what I want to do is I want to talk with you about 2025. This is going to be a short episode. It's only me, but I do want to talk about 2025. And just for now, forget about New Year's resolutions. Okay? The whole idea for 2025 is be good to yourself. Let yourself be good to yourself. But before we get on that, um, this is a podcast where we share real life experiences of things where we've been there and done that and finding better in our own lives because maybe you might be able to apply some of those lessons to your life. Sometimes the best way to success or a really wonderful path to success is to copy the success of other people or avoid the mistakes of other people. And that's what we do here at Finding Better. We don't share opinions, we don't share academics, we don't share theories. It's all about real life experiences. And so, we're going to go into 2025. I think that this can be the best year we've ever had. And I want to work with you. I want to help. One thing I learned about podcasts, if you folks are thinking about doing podcasts, is the only people who are really making a lot of money on podcasts, besides Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly and all these celebrities, the only real people that are making money are the people who are teaching you and selling you programs on how to build podcasts. There's no money in podcasts. And of course, that's not the reason why I'm doing this. This is all about giving back. And I want to share the starfish story for those of you who've never heard it before, because it really, really does talk about and represent everything that we're doing here. Because, it was over 12 years ago that my daughter told me originally that I needed to do a podcast. And she eventually convinced me to do it last year or to launch it last year because she says, you know what, Dad? She says, if you help one person, will that be a success to you? And I said, yeah, it would be because I've always said lifting a person lifts the world. And there's a story of an old man walking along a beach, and the night before was this huge storm that had washed up thousands and thousands of starfish onto this beach. And out in the distance, he sees this little boy, and this little boy is out there picking up starfish and throwing them back into the ocean. So when the old man gets the little boy, he says, "Hey, what you doing?" And the little boy says, "I'm picking up starfish and throwing them back." And the old man looks at him. He says, "Son, there must be thousands of starfish up on this beach. You can't possibly make a difference." So the little boy thinks about it, looks down, picks up a starfish, throws that starfish back into the ocean, and says, "I made a difference to that one." And, it's so true. It's so true. We're not, if we can change the world, great. But the way we change the world and make the world better is one person at a time. Now, the corollary to that story, or that the extension of the story, I like to think, is that the old man decided to join the little boy, and the two of them both threw starfish into the ocean. Double the productivity, right? And then other people walked up to them and said, "Hey, what you guys doing?" And they joined in, and they shared in saving starfish. And so, anyway, it's just a little story that talks about kind of the spirit of this podcast. And again, thank you so much for sharing this. I don't know 1,800 people, and to a lot of people, 1,800 subscribers on a YouTube channel might not seem like much, but to me, it's huge. It's huge. and over 50,000 views. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because together we are helping people, um, hopefully in our own little way, live better lives. So as I was talking about, for this year, um, let's not make it about resolutions. Let's not make it about, the number one New Year's resolution is to lose weight. Let's set that aside. Let's set that aside. Let's set resolutions aside because most of the time they don't work anyway. But let's just focus on this year as being a year to give to yourself. Give maybe 5 gifts to yourself. Um, and one of them could be goals. And I'm not going to tell you all five. You can come up with five yourself, right? Or three promises to yourself to be good to yourself. One of my gifts to myself are goals. Because I find that when I have goals and I am constantly working towards those goals, it keeps me focused. It keeps me focused. Now, when it comes to goal setting, you can't just set a goal and then throw it in the trash can and say, "Okay, I set my goal." No, you got to keep it in front of you. Keep your goals in front of you, and maybe have 3 goals. And the other thing about goals is that as long as you're going to set up goals, set up big, hairy, audacious goals. BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals, right? I mean, if you're going to set goals, you know, set big ones. They say that if you shoot for the treetops, you may hit the trunk of the tree. But if you shoot for the stars, you're probably going to get someplace much, much higher. And so set goals. Here are some of my goals. One of my goals this year is to learn AI, is to learn AI. And I'm going to spend, I don't know, 15 minutes a day just learning. There's dozens of different AI programs out there, starting with ChatGPT. Learning a little bit about it, learning how to use it to write some of your emails or do some of your research. And then you have Canva, which is more of an artistic. You have all these different AI platforms out there. And so I decided that, you know, it's only going to make me better. It's only going to enable me to do things better, faster, less expensively. There may even be a business or two that I might be able to launch. But again, learning is cumulative. When you learn things, you don't, it layers upon the learning that you've already done, right? And it stays with you. If you want it to stay with you, if you want to forget it, forget it. But there may be some learning in AI that could absolutely change your life. Fact of the matter is, AI is changing our lives, and it's going to change our lives faster than anything has ever changed our lives in human history. And so you might as well, there's an old saying that says, you know, you can get on the train, you can watch it go by, or you could get run over by it. This is a train. AI is a train. So for me, I don't want to get run over by it. I don't want to get run over by it, and I don't want to watch it go by. So I'm hopping on it, and I'm going to learn about it, and I'm going to learn about what parts of AI. There may be a drawing or an artistic AI system that really helps me. I've already used AI to help me build my website, and website coming soon. Um, and so maybe you might want to consider learning AI and dedicating, 15 minutes a day or even 15 minutes a week just to learn. We got 52 weeks in the year. Let's say there's 30 different AI systems out there. Learn one a week. Pretty simple. And when I mean one a week, spend 30 minutes a week learning one. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. What's another goal? I have a goal of starting another business, starting another speaking and helping people business. And this business is going to be about helping people transition through their retirement. Okay. Um, I retired 2.5 years ago, and I will tell you, it is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. People think, oh my gosh, yeah, you're retired. It's not that easy, folks. 5 years. 5 years. Everybody I've spoken to who has successfully gone through a transition from their work life into retirement, said that it took 5 years, not one, not two, not overnight. We all think that, oh my gosh, it's going to be great. I'm going to be able to relax and travel and recharge. Okay, so after you do that for 6 months, then what? It's really crazy, and I feel like I can help a lot of people by doing something like that, and add tons and tons of not of value into people's lives, and maybe shortening that 5 years down to one, right? Because it's all about awareness and yeah, being that coach and helping people with that. My third goal is all around that book, right? Getting that book out to Clint Eastwood or Steven Spielberg, um, or maybe somebody else. But I believe that that book, American Grit, could be an amazing, can be the cap on. I mean, it could be it could be the best story for Clint Eastwood to end his career on. Um, So I don't know how that's going to happen. Maybe if you know somebody who knows Clint Eastwood or Steven Spielberg or Tom Hanks, even, right? Please let me know. Please let me know because I don't know how it's going to happen. But I wrote that book for the purpose of uh, making it a major motion picture. And someday it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I don't know when. It may not happen in my lifetime, but it's going to happen. So that's my third goal. And my fourth goal, I'll tell you, is getting 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Again, it's not about accolades. It's not about fame. You know, 1,800 is amazing. That's a small army of people that we're helping to live better lives for or with or whatever, right? I mean, that's amazing. And they're sharing it with others. Let's keep growing it. I want to keep growing it, right? And reaching other people. Um, and you help one person and that person helps another person, just like my story of the starfish, right? My hope is that was that that old man uh, decided to help the little boy, and then a crowd gathered, and then they cleared that beach. They cleared that beach of all the starfish. Wouldn't that be cool? That's where we're going. And so, there's all kinds of things that you can set forth with regards to goals. You might want to set a goal, a big, hairy, audacious goal of vacationing in Hawaii. You know, um, set it, do it. If you want to do it, um, don't buy that cup of Starbucks every day and take your own lunch to work. Don't buy lunch every day. Those two things, if you do that, you're going to Hawaii at the end of this year. Think about it. So, I don't know, cup of Starbucks is $4, $5. Let's just call it $5. It's easy to spend $5 at Starbucks. And by the way, my view on Starbucks is it's not a coffee company, it's a sugar company, but I don't need to go on to that. So that's $5 a day. The average lunch is between $10 and $15, right? 10 on the low end, 15 on average. So let's just say $10. So you're saving $15 a day over the course of, I don't know, 300 days. So that's $4,500 just off your Starbucks and send. And of course, okay, so you gotta buy the bread and you gotta buy the sandwich meat and you gotta buy little bags of potato chips. So I don't know, you're saving $4,000 a year. That's huge. You're going to Hawaii, right? And maybe at the end of the year, you might say, you know what? Let's not do this trip to Hawaii. Let's just put that into our rainy day savings and take that money and invest it. There's all kinds of things you can do. But give yourself really cool goals. Maybe learn AI because, you know, Warren Buffett, who I am a huge fan of, and he's arguably the greatest investor of all time. He is famous for saying that the greatest investment that you can make is an investment in yourself and your learning. You know? So maybe take my AI goal and apply it to your own life. Um, Other things in terms of being good to yourself, gifts to yourself, give yourself peace. Give yourself the gift of peace. An episode recently where my guest talked about never going home hot. At the end of the day, never walk into the house bringing bad energy from work and affecting your family. Don't let a bad day at work make a bad day for your family. So he says, what he does is he just pulls his car over before he gets home and he spends 60 seconds, that's it, just closing his eyes and saying the word peace, peace, peace. Try doing it right now. And it's amazing how it just kind of lets it go. And so never go home hot. Give yourself peace. And when you give yourself peace, you're giving others peace too, right? Give yourself patience. Give yourself patience. Kim Sorrell, uh, love is patient, patience is love. And when you're patient with yourself, again, you can be patient with others. What else? Give yourself credit. Give yourself credit. You know, it's amazing how hard we are on ourselves, especially with all the bullshit that goes on out there and all of the messages on social media. I call them messages of inadequacy, and all the advertisements out there. You're not going to be happy until you buy what I'm trying to sell you. Or look at me. You're not cool unless your life is like mine. There's just so much crap out there, which is another reason why I started this podcast. I wanted to create this podcast as a safe place where people can come where no one's trying to sell you anything, but everybody on my podcast is just trying to help, right? And you're an amazing person. You are an amazing, amazing person. And no matter how bad things are going right now, right now there are fires raging in Los Angeles. People are losing everything. Thousands, 10,000 buildings and homes burned down. People have lost everything. It doesn't get much worse than that. And yet this too shall pass, right? And peace and patience. And, you know, you're an amazing person. God made you that way. Okay? And whether you know it or not or believe it or not, God lives in you. And my hope is to help you realize that. He's not just out there. God's not just out there. He's part of us. He's part of us. He's inside of us. And so you are a beautiful person. You're an amazing person. And maybe the other gift you give to yourself is a gift of love. Is the gift of love because it goes back to giving yourself credit as an amazing person. Think of, we focus so much on the negative. And I am right in there with you. A person, 100 people can tell me ama- t- amazing things about me and give me accolades and compliments and tell me what a wonderful person I am. And one person can tell me I'm a jerk. One person can say, "Dude, you're such a loser." Who do you think I'm going to focus on? Those 100 positive people or that one negative one? The one negative one, right? So it's noise. It's noise. And I've learned and I continue to remind myself that I'm not going to focus on the people who don't care about me. I'm not going to focus on the people who want to bring me down. I'm going to focus on the people who want to lift me up. And those are the people I'm going to focus my time and energy on. And I'm going to try to help them too because it's a lot more fun. It's a lot better for your brain, your heart, and your soul. It really is. So focus on the positive because you're an amazing person. Okay. And when you do those things, when you give yourself peace, when you give yourself patience, you give yourself credit, you give yourself love, guess what you're going to be able to do for other people? You're going to give them those exact same things, right? And so I hope I've given you something to think about. And I'm going to remind you throughout the year, right? Be kind to yourself. Give yourself kindness because you deserve it. You deserve it. And don't get caught up in what the world wants you to believe. Okay? Come back to this podcast. Get re-energized because I'm telling you, you are amazing. At the end of every podcast, I always say, thank you, God bless you, I love you. And it's true. It's true. And and we're going to talk about all kinds of things this year. It's going to be amazing. I've got a lineup of amazing, amazing people that are going to lift you, that are going to help you, that are going to give you their own wisdom and experiences of what they've done to make a better life and what they've learned to avoid to make a better life for themselves. And so with that, right? Uh, think about it. Give yourself goals. Give yourself peace. Give yourself patience. Give yourself credit. Give yourself love. Just make it a really good year for you. For you. Okay? So with that, um, like I said, make this a year to be good to yourself, and then maybe you can be good to others. Actually, that's not a maybe. That's an absolute. Okay? And so it's okay to be selfish that way because being selfish that way lifts the world, lifts the world. So, with that, thank you for joining me. I love you. God bless you. Please share. Please pass this along. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It's going to be an amazing, amazing year. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.